All right, guys, so it looks like we've got another cheating story right here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. We've got another situation here. And this is written by a female. She doesn't say her age, right? But she is married. And she says, caught my husband looking at escorts. Let's get into it.
If you're not going to become a network marketer, we're not going to pay you what we said we were going to pay you, right? News announcement. And this is a breaking news announcement. And this is a breaking live on Friday. Platform Nova Tech update.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just tell you like it is on this, right? Because you need somebody to tell you this, and unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, people are very nice, right? And people don't want to give you the real truth about what's going on. I, however, am not nice, and I have no problem, right, giving you the real truth. And sometimes you need to hear it. Right, and I think in your case, you're going to really need to hear what I have to say. So let's go ahead and look at the story. It says, my husband caught my husband looking at escorts. My husband and I have only been married for 3 years. And last year, I gave birth to our son. Okay? He has been telling me that I need to spice things up between us, and I should initiate physical touch to him because it's his love language. I admit that I lack intimacy. Okay? I struggle when it comes to making love. Right? This is how this person wrote this. I don't enjoy it often. And it could feel like a task sometimes. All right, I'm going to read the whole thing and then I'm going to break it down. Because I could stop right here. My husband, on the other hand, craves intimacy. He'd do it every day if he can. We simply don't match in terms of sexual drive, but I'd like to think that we had it good in everything else. Okay, let me just continue. My husband is leaving for a week for a work trip. I thought I trust him until I saw some screenshots of escorts on his phone. I confronted him and he said that he was so sexually stressed, that's why he got curious. He mentioned that he knows what he did is wrong, but it was also because I don't provide him with his needs. He swore that he only looked at it, but has never contacted or tried one. I don't know what to feel right now. Our son is only a year old and I don't want him to grow up without a dad. I'm so hurt by what he did, but I think I'll have to forgive him for our child's sake. He's away right now for the said work trip, and I would like to have a serious conversation with him when he gets back. I'm confused and unsure what to tell him when he's back. Has anyone had this experience before? If you choose to stay with your significant other, or if you chose to stay, how did you move past it? So I can see, just by the way this was written, that here is another female taking zero accountability, right? Zero responsibility for her life. And she's a victim, right? She's a victim. Because her husband was looking at other women online. Now, he's looking at escorts, and now he's off on a business trip. Yeah. He's probably hooking up with escorts. I mean, that would be my take on it. I mean, I don't mean to like burst your bubble or anything, but you're not giving him what he needs. And you shouldn't have gotten married in the first place. You're in a bad situation because you guys don't match in terms of your sexual needs. When it comes to relationships, you have to have both. You've got to be compatible physically, right? That's the sexual part. And mentally. right? You can't hate your partner. You can't like have a really hot, smoking hot partner who's a jerk. Or who you hate, right? It's not going to work. Or like if your smoking hot partner's like a complete right-wing conservative and you're a total left-wing liberal, how's that going to work, right? You don't have like mental compatibility. You don't have compatibility. It's the same thing with the other way. You guys could be really good friends. But I think, stupidly got married, and you stupidly have brought a child into the world. And your relationship is not going to get better. Okay, yeah, that's first and foremost. The child's not going to grow up without a dad. The dad can be in his life. But you guys probably should get divorced immediately and move on with your lives. Right? You should go, join a convent or something. I mean, if you don't need or want or desire sex, then you're not a full-fledged, you're just not, you don't have any right to be in a relationship with anybody. Nobody's going to want to be in a relationship with you, right? Unless you find another asexual person and you guys are just like friends who decide to get married, right? Which I think is just stupid. All right, so let's go through this. My husband and I have only been married 3 years. It sounds like 3 years of torture for the poor guy. And you're taking zero accountability. You just feel like it's a task and a chore to sleep with your husband. Okay? Are you surprised that he's going to look elsewhere? I mean, how dare you be surprised, lady? You don't even like the guy. I don't really like him. I don't really want to have sex with him, but I'm super surprised that he's looking at other options. Yeah, and in this case, escorts, because he's being stupid too. And don't worry, I'm gonna roast him too in a second. Last year, we gave birth to our son. He's been telling me that I need to spice things up between us and I should initiate physical touch to him because it's his love language. So, right there, I mean, she probably doesn't want to sleep with you because you said the word love language. You're acting like a woman. I mean, shout out to you for telling her that, hey, I need something more from you. At least you tried. But then when you said love language, you probably dried her up more than the Sahara Desert when you said that, bro. Act like a man. Maybe she'll want to sleep with you if you act like a man. I admit that I lack intimacy. I struggle when it comes to making love. Then, sweetheart, you should not be in a relationship. What are you trying to do, torture the guy? I don't enjoy it often, and it could feel like a task sometimes. Then you should not be married, you should not be in a relationship, you should have not brought a kid into this world. But you did that, so now you're going to have to live with the consequences, right? If you don't like it, you need to let this man go and go ahead and get what he needs out of life, right? You have no right to starve this man of a God-given need that he has. How selfish, how inconsiderate, how unaccountable, how zero responsibility, right? This guy ought to just be fine with not having sex. A physical need. You may as well ask him to stop eating for you and then be surprised when he goes and has a cheeseburger behind your back. You are out of reality, lady. He'd do it every day if he can. Well, yeah. That's how most people are, right? Most of us are sexual beings. I mean, we eat every day, right? We go to use the restroom every day, right? It's a physical need. It's a God-given, God-imprinted physical need that we all have. And you think that it's just fine for you to not give it to him and then be surprised when you find him looking at escorts. And that's an L, too, for him. He shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be doing that. He should have kicked this lady to the curb and said, hey, I will see the kid. I will help you raise the kid. But, sweetheart, you're not giving me what I need, and it just ain't going to work. Right? I know that, the Bible says you're not supposed to get divorced. I get that. But the Bible also says that God forgives. Okay? And sometimes you're just going to have to say, you call it a day, say, hey, we tried, it didn't work. Here's the divorce. God forgive me. I know I wasn't supposed to do that, but this wasn't a real marriage anyway, right? Because she broke the vows also, right? By not giving you what you need, right? As a man. So you shouldn't be looking at escorts, right? I get it. You probably want to stay with your wife. You want to raise the kid. And you want to get your sexual needs fulfilled. That's not going to work, bro. Because this woman is so completely selfish and self-centered that she's going to blame you for doing that, right? And it is wrong. I mean, I'm not saying it's not wrong. I mean, you just got to grow a backbone, let's say, and just leave her. Yeah, you got a kid. Sucks, man. You're going to have to leave the kid too. I get it. You don't want to do it. Yeah, you want to be a good person because you heard on some Hallmark TV television story that the real man doesn't leave. No, brother, the real man leaves. Right? If this is what's happening in your relationship, you have a duty to yourself to leave. Okay? All right, so my husband, on the other hand, craves intimacy. Well, it's because he's normal, and you're a freaking weirdo. We simply don't match in terms of sexual drive. Then why did you get married? I mean, what a stupid, stupid thing for you to do. You don't match in terms of sexual drive, so let's get married. And then on top of it, let's bring a kid into the world. My husband is leaving for a week on a work trip. Yeah, and every day that week, he's probably going to have another escort in his bed. I mean, hey, and it's, that's not right either. He should have just been a man about it and left you and go on and try to find a different relationship. I mean, what you messing around with escorts for, bro? You trying to catch something, right? Or you trying to get killed? Or you trying to get robbed? Are you trying to get, you're going into the illegal territory, right? You're going into illegal territory where people are not, they're not respecting the law. They're not respecting the mores of society, right? You're dealing with people who are operating outside of the law. And if they do one thing outside of the law, brother, they can do another thing outside of the law. You're putting yourself at risk. And if you get yourself hurt, who's going to raise that kid? So you shouldn't be doing that, bro. All right, my husband is leaving this week for a work trip. I thought I trust him until I saw some screenshots of escorts on his phone. Lady, you have no right to complain about that. You have zero right. I confronted him, and then look at this. He actually admits it to her. I mean, this seems like a really stand-up nice guy. Problem is, he's a stand-up nice guy, and he's too nice of a guy. That's his problem. All right, so I confronted him, and he said he was so sexually stressed that's why he got curious. He mentioned that he knows what he did is wrong, but it was also because I don't provide him his needs. So, again, he's honest with her. He swore that he only looked at it, but he never contacted or tried one. I don't know about that. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? I don't know what to feel right now. Yeah, you do. I mean, you're telling it through your whole writing here. You're the victim. You've been wronged here. You feel like he did something wrong to you, but you're completely okay with the fact that you don't match sexually. What did you think was going to happen? Really? I mean, what did you miss when logic was handed out, right? When God gave the gift of logic, were you not there that day? What did you think was going to happen, lady? So, I don't know what to feel. Yeah, you don't really feel anything, from what I can see. You're just like a cold fish. Our son is only a year old, and I don't want him to grow up without a dad. No, don't worry, he won't. What are you going to do? Take the kid away from him? Just get divorced. Right? That's what you both should have done. You never should have got married in the first place. I'm so hurt by what he did. But you don't care about what you did, right? You're not thinking about him at all. You're thinking about yourself. You're hurt. It's all about you. And you're not giving one thought to the fact that you've pretty much been torturing this man for 3 years. Right? How about how he feels? That doesn't even begin to come into your mind, does it, sweetheart? That doesn't even begin to compute to you. Right? Because it's all about you. Forget how he feels. Forget how anybody else feels. It's all about you, right? The world is all about you. And forget about this guy. So you're so hurt. Well, what about him? I'm so hurt by what he did. And I think I'll have to forgive him. Yeah, there's nothing to forgive. Okay, what did you expect? This guy's a flesh and blood man. You're not giving him what he needs, right? And he's going to get it someplace else. I mean, that's... What do you need to forgive him for? Right? Unbelievable, man. He's away right now for said work trip. And I would like to have a serious conversation with him when he gets back. Why? The point of talking is over. The point of conversation is over. I mean, this once... Look... Let's say that the cheating has occurred. Well, you're never going to forgive him for it, right? Because you can't, right? As a female, it's almost impossible for a female to forgive cheating, which is sad because males pretty much cheat. I mean, that's what they do, and then the female can't forgive, right? And especially if a guy is not getting what he needs, what do you think he's going to do, right? So, and you're never going to be able to forgive him for it. The cheating's already occurred. The relationship's already over. Matter of fact, the relationship's been over for years because you haven't been wanting to have intimacy with him. That's not a relationship. You guys are roommates, man. You're friends, and sometimes he wants to have sex with you, and you hate it. You can't stand it, right? It's a chore. Man, if ever a woman, I don't care if I've been married 30 years... If a woman ever said to me it's a chore to sleep with me, divorce. I'll leave the kids. I will leave the kids. I will leave the woman. And you know what? It's probably one of the reasons why nobody's going to say it to me. Right? Because, bro, I don't know. I think if this guy would have left at the beginning and been like, hey, I need more sex, then maybe she would have like shaped up and start giving him that, or she would have been like, oh, okay, well, this doesn't work. Right? So either way, it would have been good. But this guy, he went along with it for so long, which was wrong. He should have stood up for himself right from the jump. He didn't do that, right? She went along with it. They end up having a kid and got married. I mean, what a mess. What a mess, man. I'm confused and unsure what to tell him when he's back. Has anyone had this experience before? If you chose to stay with your significant other, how did you move past it? Let me tell you something. A woman will never move past it. You're not going to move past it. You're going to remember it until the day you die. You're going to be thinking about him looking at escorts when you're like taking your last breath. You're never going to forget it, lady. Right? This thing is already over. And it's for the good. It's going to be better for you, and it's going to be better for him, and it's going to be better for the kid. Because you ain't right for him, he ain't right for you. And then what? The kid's got to grow up with a couple of weirdos for parents who don't show any affection towards one another. Oh, yeah, he's going to be real well-adjusted, him or her, whatever it is. Your son, so him. It's not his fault. Right? You guys are knuckleheads. All right, so... what do we got here? We've got a bunch of comments on this, and I'm not going to get into the comments because these people they're just kowtowing to her, and nobody's actually, and this is the problem with the world today. Nobody tells anybody the truth, right? And, the truth is, what the heck do you expect, lady? If a guy ain't getting it from you, he's going to get it somewhere else. And you're surprised, and then you have the gall to, act hurt about it. Man, guy, bro, get out of this relationship. Get away from this selfish woman, right? Just get away from her, bro. She's going to ruin your life. All right, guys, that's what I got. Talk to you later.